Hello everyone. In this video, first of all, I'm assuming that all the required dependencies have already been downloaded as explained previously in one of my videos. If you're not aware of how to create a project in Visual Studio and how to download the required dependencies, please refer to my another video link provided in the description below. So what I'm gonna show you in this video is how to trigger the web browser and then navigate a user to the website under test. For the demo, I'll be using a Google website. I will also be using SpecFlow container to instantiate the web browser, but using SpecFlow container is entirely your choice, and that's not the only way to achieve this. It's just that I prefer that way since this facilitates automated testing, and especially when parallel testing is in consideration. Otherwise, you can weigh up your options based on your own requirements and come up with the best possible approach. But if you ask me, I have always found fascinating working with SpecFlow container and context injection than anything else because it helps me to make the most of everything. So now let's open Visual Studio and see what we got. Okay, so for this example, what we need is a feature file, a step definition class, and a class for a WebDriver setup. But in order to proceed with that, what we also need is a desired folder structure. So let me do that first. So go to add, click new folder, and give this folder a name, features. Similarly, create another folder and give it a name, step devs. And finally, another one with the name setup. Right, after having done that, what I need is a feature file that I can create by right-clicking my features folder and then go to add and click new item. Make sure SpecFlow is selected from the left menu, and then we can select a SpecFlow feature file, the one on the top, and then give it a name, home.feature, and click the add button. As we can see, this feature file has come up with some default text, so we can update that. First, let's get rid of the default text that we don't need. I'll give this feature name homepage with some description, something like as a website user, I want to open Google homepage. For the scenario, I can add some description, something like launching the Google homepage. And then for the steps, let's get rid of that. All I need is just one step for this example, right? And that can be given the user has launched the Google homepage. Right, so this feature file does nothing but opening the web browser and then launching the Google homepage. As you can also see, the file itself is self-explanatory. Next, I also need to create a step definition class to write code for the step defined in my feature file. The steps in feature file automatically get mapped to the steps in definition class as soon as they exist. Alongside step definition class, I will also be creating a base class in order to hold my WebDriver instance variable. The benefit of creating a WebDriver instance variable in the base class is to create it only once. So all the future page objects can be derived from this base class. This way, we don't have to initialize WebDriver every time we create a new page object. So let's proceed and see how to get this working. Right, so let's see how this code works. So let's go to base steps class. As I said earlier, that this is a base class where we set the WebDriver instance variable, as you can see in this line, to be used by all the page objects after we drive them from this class. We are not using any page object as of yet, but we are using driver variable directly in the steps class, as you can see in this line. But yes, in the future, I will show you how to pass this driver variable to the page object classes as well. As you can also see in the constructor, I'm passing a WebDriver as a parameter. Uh, this has not been covered yet. So let's move on and see how we set up the WebDriver and register with a SpecFlow container. But before, we need to understand what is iObject container and what is the dependency injection. This is a default constructor used by SpecFlow, and it allows a very simple dependency framework that enables us to instantiate and inject a class into any binding class, generally in the step definition class. This can be achieved by customizing iObject container object. As you can see, the way I'm injecting a WebDriver through the constructor. So this is basically the concept of context injection. So let's see how this works. Right, so as you can see in this class, let's go to the top. This is where I'm declaring my SpecFlow container. And if we look down a bit, this is where I've declared a hook, which is called before scenario. So basically using the hook to get the WebDriver object after registering it with iObject container. Hooks are quite useful when we want to do some prerequisites before running the test scenarios. In this case, all I want is to make sure that WebDriver has been initialized and available for the test execution. I would recommend going to Google and read more about it if you are interested to know more about SpecFlow hooks. Let's scroll down a bit more and right. So this is where we are registering the WebDriver with the SpecFlow container. And if we go back to the step definition class, as I said earlier, this is where we are injecting the WebDriver through the class constructor. Okay, fine. Now it's time to clean and build the project. So let's do that quickly. Then go to test, test explorer, and then run your test. Okay, so that's not looking good. Why is that? Let's see. Okay, object container problem. Okay, so I guess it looks like I have missed the binding attribute in my setup class. So let's add that. Let's try again. Hopefully it should work fine this time. Okay, cool. So we can see the browser has opened up and navigating to the Google homepage. While you're doing all this, you might find yourself in a situation where you are getting an error related to the Chrome browser instantiation or whatever the browser you're using. If it happens, then it's worth checking if the Chrome driver that you're using from NuGet packages support the browser installed in your machine. If not, you might have to upgrade or downgrade the driver you're using and then clean and build the solution again. Also make sure that there are no Chrome driver instances running in the background by going into your task manager. So have you noticed in this video that I'm directly passing the browser name in the method call? Like if I show you in this class, as you can see in this line of code, uh, this is not a very good practice when we are working with the real-time projects. So in my next video, I will explain how to set the browser as an external variable because we may be asked to run the automated scripts with the different browsers. So this is something we're going to cover in the next video. So thanks for watching this video and stay tuned.